Folks, at the end of this video, you'll notice that there's change of outfit and slight camera angle. My laptop died while I was filming this right at the end, and I felt like it was a pretty good session, so I wanted to keep it and add just the last bit of it. Hey everybody, welcome to Lymph Cleanse Yoga. First today I wanted to talk about the way that the lymph system functions in our body so that we can be helped to understand what is happening during this class. So if you've ever felt swollen lymph nodes underneath your chin when you're feeling sick, that is part of the lymph system. So the lymph system is a series of tubes and nodes that takes all the waste from in between your cells and processes it in the lymph nodes and brings it back into your blood system. And it works in a series of one-way valves, and unlike the heart, the veins and arteries, the heart pumps the veins and arteries, but the lymph system doesn't have a pump of its own, so it has one-way valves that make it so that lymph can only move in one direction. And the way that lymph actually is moved around in the body is by muscle contraction and also by gravity. And if you haven't noticed, the only muscles we have inside our chest cavity and lower abdomen is our diaphragm. So breathing is a real big thing that helps move lymph around in the chest cavity and also the stomach. The abs are also a nice way to move things around in the stomach. There's actually a lymph system that goes into your lungs and interacts with the blood vessels there. So if you used to be a smoker or you're still a smoker, doing a lot of breathing techniques is really good for helping things move around in there. Another thing you might have noticed is that I said that gravity is one of the main things that helps move lymph around. And if things are moving from the outermost to the innermost, most of the time we're walking around on our legs, and we don't often have our legs above our hips, above our bellies, above our chest. And so that's what yoga does often, is bring those legs above the rest of our body so that we can drain some of that lymph, as well as stretching and finding areas of the body. Yoga does a really good job of clearing out the lymph system. So today we're going to be processing a lot of stuff in our upper respiratory system and in our axial nodes, is what they're called, of our lymph system, which are right underneath the armpit. So if you can find 2 tennis balls in your home or something similar, like a lacrosse ball, we'll be using those today. If you don't have those, that's fine. We can just use our fists. We'll be like rubbing around in our armpit area. So if you don't have any balls, don't worry about it. Another thing that we're going to be doing today is working with lion's breath. It is a breathing technique that is good for clearing out things out of the lungs, and is most often done on all fours, or, there's lots of different ways to do it, but it can be done in down dog as well. But it looks like this. You're going to stick your tongue out as you exhale, and it's usually on a cat. Sometimes people do it as a exalting, like getting it out. But today, since we're working on the back of the respiratory system, we're going to inhale as we come up, and as we exhale, we're going to flex and really stick our tongue out and breathe out. And as we're working today, we're going to be really clearing a lot of stuff up in the lungs. So if you feel any impulse to like cough or grunt, that is totally welcome. Like, there's a lot of things that our bodies do that are seen as gross, And it's interesting that these processes in our bodies are just part of the world in a way that is shameful. And so I invite you to explore those somewhat gross experiences of your body processing things and letting things out today. And the last thing that we'll be focusing on, I'll remind you throughout class of all these things, is feeling the breath moving up the inside of our spine and up to the back of our neck. So as you inhale, you'll feel the warmth building in your chest, and then as you exhale, you'll feel it move up the inside and out through the neck, which is going to facilitate that lion's breath and that clearing of the lymph system in the lungs and the axial nodes here. So to start off class, we're going to be standing. We're going to do some tapping exercises. Well, first we're going to just ground. So come to a standing position, placing your feet, spreading them out, feet up below the hips, all corners of the feet grounding. You're welcome to close your eyes here. Slight tuck of the pelvis, connecting the pelvis to the sternum, sternum to the chin. Just noticing, grounding as you feel. Taking a quick check-in from your feet up to your knees, noticing anything, hips, diaphragm, belly, lungs, armpits, fingers, forearms, elbows, shoulders, neck, head, eyeballs, sinuses, tongue, chin and throat, lymph nodes here. All right, taking one deep breath in and sighing it out. I'm going to start tapping, and when you tap, you can use the tips of your fingers to tap on your body, or you can use an open palm or a fist, or you can squeeze. Some places feel better to do one or the other, so I invite you to try whatever feels good to you. So we're going to start by tapping the thymus. Your sternum is on top of your thymus. Your thymus is the only part of the lymph system that is not connected to the lymphatic drainage system. It is the place where all of our T cells and B cells and other antigens are formed and then go out into the bloodstream and then into the interstitial space, and eventually bringing all these pathogens into the lymph nodes for processing, and so that we can clear our system out. So by tapping, as we're continuing to do, you can really start to breathe into that area of the chest as you're tapping. We're going to be dislodging anything that might be stuck in there. Tapping is also supposed to be good for bringing white blood cells, which also interact with the lymph system and the immune system, into our blood system. And again, experimenting with patting, open palm, or using your fists. Just opening up into more parts of the lungs now with your tapping. Keeping the breaths deep and light. Maybe starting to feel that warmth moving up through your back of your spine as you exhale. Deep, light breaths, keeping the knees slightly bent, grounding into the earth. We're going to send our right arm out and start to tap around the front side of that arm, moving to the back side of that arm, and eventually making our way all the way in between our shoulder blades, moving up and around our shoulder, base of the neck, getting to the chest, and then sending that left arm out, doing the same thing on the other side. And again, you're welcome to experiment, maybe
squeezing feels better to you, you notice some more opening up from squeezing, or using your fist to pound against the sides of your arm, just making sure we really get all of the scapula at the back of our shoulders and base of the neck. And we're going to do this one more time each arm. Taking a moment to pause the armpit as well. Keeping your breath deep and light. And again, I invite you to make any noises that your body is seeming to want to let go. This tapping exercise can be really good for when you're feeling sick and groggy. So once you get back to your chest, we're going to move around to the back sides of our backs, lightly tapping the kidneys, then moving around to our hips and the sides of our legs, bending into the knees, making our way all the way down to the feet, maybe lifting your balls of your feet off the mat, getting the insides of your feet, up the insides of your legs, and getting your groin area, maybe pushing into the belly slightly, gently, and moving up to the chest again. Moving out, around, and back to the kidneys, and back down the sides again. Maybe changing up how you're tapping. Maybe squeezing. Maybe massaging. Keeping that breath deep and light. And once we've made it back up to the top, just letting your arms drop, swing them out a little bit, lifting your shoulders up, rolling them back, and exhaling down, in, out, up, back, down, exhale. One more time. And now we're going to do a couple of what are called spine roll-ups. It's going to start with your head. You're going to let your head drop one vertebrae at a time, rolling your spine down, keeping the breath deep. And I invite you to pause anywhere that feels good for you to pause. If you feel some resistance that's not painful, breathe into it. See if you can loosen anything up with your relaxing breath. And this is really an exploration of your own time, so take as long as you need to make it all the way down. And take as long as you need resting at the bottom. And eventually rolling your body back up one vertebrae at a time, maybe pausing to breathe and relax into a part of the spine. We'll do this one more cycle, seeing if you can start to notice that exhaling warmth moving up your spine and up the back of your neck, and the inside. Taking your time. Keeping that that breath deep and light. And slowly making your way back up, stacking vertebrae on top of each other like coins. And taking a moment to check in with your body, setting any intention for the day that you'd like to set. If you don't have one, I invite you to listen to the depths of your chest and notice if there's any sounds that you can make to release anything. And then we're going to come together. We're going to reach our arms up. Exhale, bending at the waist. Folding. Inhale, halfway lift, sending the crown of the head towards one wall and the hips towards the other wall. Exhale down, placing the hands on the mat, sending the feet back to plank. We're going to pause in plank just to feel as we inhale the warmth heating up. And as we exhale, breath moving up the back of the spine, up into the neck. One more breath here. Feeling the warmth move up the inside of the spine and out as we exhale. One more inhale. And exhale, lowering down. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift just the head and chest. And exhaling to one cheek. Inhale, lifting the head and chest. And exhaling to the other cheek. Inhaling, lifting, and exhaling to either cheek. Just to pause for a moment, warming up the back side of our shoulders and neck. And then on an inhale, we're going to lift our head and chest and push back to all fours. Placing the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to start some cat-cows. So starting with your pelvis, one vertebrae at a time. Chin connected to your chest. Slight tuck of the chin and exhale, pushing against the earth. Moving at your own pace. And this is where I invite you to bring lion's breath in. As you exhale, sticking the tongue out. Really feeling the energy moving up through your back and out your neck area, letting any coughs or groans come out that need to, moving at your own pace, really just feeling into your chest cavity and your upper back, behind your shoulder blades. And then eventually coming back to a neutral spine, maybe rocking on the hips. Keeping your elbow pits facing each other. We're going to send our feet back, tuck our toes under, come to plank. Push back to down dog. Maybe rock out our knees since it's the first down dog of the day. Tucking our shoulder blades together on our backs, pushing into the earth with our hands and feet. And breathing deeply. On your next inhale, coming to plank. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lifting the head and chest to whatever level you need. Pushing back to down dog. Coming back to plank on an inhale, lowering down and pausing here for a moment. Finding your tennis balls or lacrosse balls or whatever it is you have, or your fists. If you have the tennis balls or any balls, you're going to place them right underneath your collarbone. Anywhere that feels good, really. We're going to explore a little bit, but it's your axial nodes are underneath your pectoral muscles. So we're going to place one underneath each collarbone on that meaty part of our muscle. And if you're using fists, we're going to do the same thing. Just going to use our fists to help massage. So you can rest your head and neck whichever way feels good. Sometimes it's really nice to just put your forehead down on the mat, if you can do that. If not, maybe chin or the side of your cheek and switch sides. So really just focusing on breathing deeply up into the upper respiratory system, the upper lungs, the back, and maybe rolling a little bit more onto these tennis balls. Finding a nice juicy spot and breathing into it. This is also good for fascia release. Again, breathing deeply, feeling that warmth moving up the inside of your spine to the top of your neck. Letting out any noises or groans. Lengthening your neck, crown of your head, slight tuck of the chin wherever you are. And then maybe moving your fists or balls around a little bit, finding a new spot to explore. And really just relaxing, finding any place of tension and just breathing into it, relaxing it. If you find any painful spots, move away from them. And then lifting your head to remove your hands or your balls from your chest. Letting your arms come to your sides. Head to one cheek or to the forehead. And breathe deeply into the lungs, into the top of the lungs. And then bringing your palms to the mat underneath your shoulders. On an inhale, lifting your head and chest off the mat. Exhale, pushing back to down dog. Inhale, coming to plank. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, lifting the head and chest once more. Pushing back to down dog. Exhale. Inhale, walking the feet towards the hands. And as you exhale, folding. Maybe crossing your arms, taking a breath in here. Letting your head nod yes and no. Deep breaths. Deep, relaxing breaths. Sighing out your exhales. Letting your hands drop. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling to fold once more. And then inhaling all the way up to stand. Bringing your arms to your sides. Slight bend of the knees. Slight tuck of the pelvis. And taking a moment to notice where your body's at. And a moment to ground into that intention that you set earlier. Maybe it was to be gentle and let yourself make any noises that come to you. Now we're going to use what's called the Ganesh mudra. So staying where you're standing, making it so that you can see what I'm doing. Ganesh mudra is where you take your hands, one thumb up, one down, and slide them into each other, and then rolling your shoulders onto the back of your shoulder blades onto your back, and giving a slight pull outward. Ganesh is supposed to be the remover of obstacles. So this is going to help us remove what is trapped in our lungs. So as we stand at the top of our mats, we're going to bring our hands into the Ganesh mudra. Then we're going to slightly bend our knees and bend at our hips, just at our hips. And when we find a nice resting point, give a nice slight tug, shrugging those shoulders back, pressing the shoulder blades against one another, slight tuck of the chin, lifting the crown of the head away from the rest of the spine, and keeping our breaths deep and light. Maybe as we exhale, feeling the breath leave, feeling that warmth move up and out through our inside of our spine, inside of our neck. Hold for one more big inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, sending those arms out and up, lifting the body, lifting the chest, slight back bend, and exhale, arms come down. Taking a moment to ground and breathe. I'm going to do this one more time, switching whichever thumb was up before, the other thumb will be up this time. So coming into that pose, nice and strong before we bend over this time. We're going to shrug our shoulders up and back against, shoulder blades against the back, reaching towards each other. Elbows out, slight tuck of the chin, chest lifted, inhale. As you exhale, folding, slightly bending the knees, keeping the back straight. Sending the crown away from the rest of the spine. Deep breath, slight pull of your hands against each other. Really breathing into the upper back here. And exhaling, feeling the warmth move through your body. breaths. One more inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, letting the arms come out and up, lifting the chest. Inhale, slight back bend. And exhale, bringing the palms down, mountain pose. Noticing any changes in the body. If you feel more open in the upper back and neck area. And then we're going to inhale our arms up. Exhale, bending at the waist. Fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling to fold, placing our hands on the mat, sending our left foot back, putting the knee down, planting that left hand inside, pushing some of the weight into that hand so that we can lift our right arm up and out. Slight lift of the sternum here, breathing into our chest. And when I say slight lift of the sternum, I mean lifting your sternum up and in and bringing your shoulder blades together. Helps to open the chest in a non-harmful way. Keeping yourself breathing. One more big inhale. As you exhale, placing that right hand back on the mat. Tucking that back foot under. Pushing back to down dog. Couple breaths here. Maybe a lion's breath if you're feeling it. Then we're going to bring that right leg up between the hands. Bring our left. Then we're going to bring our left leg up between our hands. Placing that back knee down, top of the foot can be on the mat. Bringing our weight into our right hand, we're going to lift our left arm up. Inward lift of the sternum, slight tuck of the chin. And breathing into this opening. One more big inhale, and as you exhale, bringing that hand back down to the mat, tucking that back foot underneath. Inhale, coming back to down dog. And exhale, staying in down dog. Slightly flexing the muscles as if we're trying to bring our toes to our hands and our hands to our toes. And then we're going to send our right leg up. Exhale, send it in between the hands. This time bringing the back heel down, coming up to warrior two. Slight tuck of the pelvis, lining up that front ankle with the back mid of the foot. Sending our arms out, connecting this whole front line of our body, our pelvis to our sternum, to our chin. Deep breaths, maybe as you exhale, slightly sinking into this warrior two. As you inhale, reaching up and back, placing that back hand on the thigh maybe. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, coming back up. Reaching forward, maybe resting that arm on that front leg. Maybe coming down. Inhale, coming back up. Do this one more time. Exhale, sinking into this warrior two. Inhale, reaching up and back. Exhale, coming forward. Maybe resting on elbow on knee. Maybe coming all the way down. Inhale, coming back up. As you exhale, rotating around that front knee, placing the hands back on the mat. Rotating that back foot. Sending back to down dog. One breath cycle here. On your next inhale, sending that left leg up, sending it in between the hands, rotating that back heel down, coming up to warrior two on the other side, slight tuck of the pelvis, connecting the whole front line of our body once more, sending the arms out. And as you inhale, lifting slightly, and as you exhale, maybe sinking a little bit into that front leg. Inhale, reaching up and back. And exhale, reaching forward, maybe resting again, maybe coming all the way down. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, sinking. Inhale, coming back up. Exalted warrior. Exhale, coming forward. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale, rotating over that front knee, hands down. Tucking that back foot down, lifting up. And exhaling to downward dog. Maybe bringing some lion's breath into your downward dog here. And then we're going to inhale, coming to plank, exhaling down, inhale, lifting the head and chest, exhaling, pushing back to down dog, lifting our left leg this time, exhale, sending it in between the hands, coming up to warrior two. And this time we're going to rotate our heels so that they are parallel. Our feet are parallel. Inhale our arms up. Slight tuck of the pelvis. And as you exhale, rotating at the waist. Maybe placing those hands on the mat or the hips. And just sinking deeper as you exhale into this fold. Your next inhale, tenting the fingers, coming to a halfway lift, really stretching in both directions. Crown one way, hips the other. Exhaling to fold once more. Inhale, coming all the way up. And then bringing your hands into a Ganesh mudra once more. Lifting the shoulder blades towards each other. Slight inward lift of the sternum. And on your next inhale, big inhale into the upper part of the lungs here. And as you exhale, folding. Slight tuck of the chin, crown reaching towards the earth. Couple deep breaths here, releasing, relaxing, feeling the energy move up the inside of the spine. One more breath cycle in and out. And then as you inhale, sending the arms out, lifting yourself, chest up, slight back bend, and exhaling your arms to your sides. Then we're going to rotate our right leg towards warrior two, slightly rotating that back leg, inhaling up to warrior two. Really feeling our chest opening up here. Sinking into that front leg on exhales. One more big inhale. And exhale, rotating over that front knee, placing the hands back to the mat, sending the foot back to plank. And lowering the knees, pushing back to a child's pose. Really just feeling into those armpits here, tucking the shoulder blades back, Making sure that the chin is slightly tucked and the crown is pushing away. And then relax. Really let your breath relax you deeper. And then slowly making your way back out of this child's pose into a tabletop position, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. I'm going to do a couple of cat-cows, maybe bringing in lion's breath as you exhale, welcoming any sounds that your body needs to make to clear anything else out. Moving at your own pace, keeping the chin and chest connected as you inhale. Noticing if anything is more open in your chest, that you can lift into your chest more. Eventually making your way back to a flat back. I'm going to start to dump our weight into our left hand so that we can lift our right arm out and up. On an inhale, exhale, sending it in between the wrist and the knee, lowering down, keeping the hips over the knees. Neck lengthened and strong. Maybe opening up that upper elbow so that we can open up our chest more, and then just breathe into this relaxing stretch. Chest opener. Really seeing if you can move the breath into your shoulders, your armpits. Feeling that warmth move up the back of your spine, inside of your spine as you exhale, relaxing deeper. One more deep inhale and sighing out and exhale. Pressing the weight into that left arm once more, rotating in, and if it was out, inhale, coming up and out with that right arm. And exhale, placing it back onto the mat. A couple of cat-cows here at your own pace, just to straighten out our alignment. Then coming back to a neutral spine, flat back. Dumping the weight into our right arm so that we can lift our left. Inhale, exhale, sending it through, thread the needle. Keeping our neck nice and strong and straight. Crown reaching away from the hips. Maybe rotating that upper elbow so we can open our chest more. And just breathing again, relaxing as you exhale, breathing deeply into the armpits, into the upper lungs, behind the scapula, shoulder blades. Making sure that your hips are still over your knees. One more big deep breath, inhale and exhaling out a sigh. And then on an inhale, pressing that hand back into the mat, the right hand lifting that left arm out and up. And exhale, placing it on the mat, tucking. Taking a moment to do a couple more cat-cows, maybe bringing in lion's breath here. Maintaining that connection from the chin to the chest as you inhale, opening up the chest. And coming back to a neutral spine, flat back, we're going to walk our knees forward, cross our ankles so that we can come onto our backs. And we're going to roll on our backs, holding onto our knees. Getting the whole length of the spine. And then coming down to your back, your legs up, placing your hands on the mat, palm down, tucking your shoulder blades underneath you, lifting your hips up and over your head. Into a plow, really breathing deeply into your shoulders here. Feeling all of that heat moving up the back of your spine into your neck here as you exhale. One more big inhale. And sighing out your exhale. Let's do that one more time. And on your next exhale, slowly, one vertebrae at a time, coming back down to the mat, placing your feet on the mat, just about the distance where you could almost touch them, your ankles with your fingertips. Then letting your arms rest at your side, tucking your shoulders underneath you. We're going to do some bridge poses. So as you inhale, lifting one vertebrae off at a time, starting with your hips, inhale, coming up. And holding as you exhale. Inhaling again here. And as you exhale, coming down one vertebrae at a time. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale, coming up, one vertebrae at a time. Holding, exhale. Inhale here. And one vertebrae at a time, coming down as you exhale. And then we're going to bring our knees into our chest to give ourselves a nice little hug. Squeezing. Breathing deeply. And on your next exhale, bursting out, full body stretch. And then turning so that you can see the video. I'm just going to explain what's going to happen next. So as you're laying there, we're going to do what is called a lymph cleanse sequence. It's a series of flexing and releasing our muscles so that we can drain the lymph system systematically.
So when I say an area of the body, you're going to inhale while clenching that area, and then exhale to release it. And most of it will be pretty self-explanatory, but at one point, I will say give yourself a little hug, and that'll look like while you're laying down, you're just going to slightly lift your shoulders and slightly tuck your chin and like hug yourself in as you inhale. So it'll look a little bit like this laying down. Exhale. And then after that, we will go into Savasana with a little singing bowl recording. So find your way to your back, finding a nice comfortable resting position, taking a moment to check in with your body and your breath, noticing your weight onto the earth, the skin touching the mat, the pull of gravity on all parts of your body. And we're going to start with the feet. So as you inhale, flexing your feet muscles, and exhaling to release. Inhale, flexing your calf and shin muscles. And exhaling to release. Inhale, flexing your thigh and glute muscles. And exhale to release. Inhale, flexing your glute and hip muscles. And exhale to release. Inhale, flexing your pelvic floor muscles. And release. Inhale, pressing your back into your hips into the ground and flexing your ab muscles. And exhale to release. Inhale, pressing your shoulder blades into the mat. And exhaling to release. Inhale, shrugging your shoulders towards your ears. And release. Inhale, giving yourself a nice little hug, slight tuck of the chin. And exhale to release. Inhale, opening your hands up real wide. And exhaling to release. Inhale, flexing your fingers into a fist. And release. Inhale, flexing your biceps and triceps. And release. Inhale, pressing your shoulder blades into the mat. And exhale, release. Inhale, shrugging your shoulders towards your ears, making that inhale go all the way up into your shoulders and your armpits. And release. Inhale, giving yourself a nice little hug, tucking the chin. And release. And then inhaling really big and deep and holding it for 3 counts. Deepest breath in all day. 2, 1, and exhale, release. Pressing the back of your head into the mat as you inhale. And exhale, release. Flexing the muscles in the top of your head and your scalp. And exhale to release. Inhale, scrunching up your face muscles. And exhale, release. Inhale, looking your eyes towards your third eye.
Pressing your tongue to the roof of your mouth as you inhale all the way up into your neck. And release. Sticking your tongue straight out of your mouth. And release. Pressing your tongue into the bottom of your mouth. And release. Clenching your jaw muscles. And release. Slightly tucking your chin towards your chest. And exhale to release. Pressing your shoulder blades into the mat once more. And exhaling to release. Inhale, shrugging your shoulders towards your ears. Breathing really deep into your shoulders here. And exhaling to release. Inhale, giving yourself a nice big hug. Inhaling really deeply here. And exhale, release. And then taking the biggest deep breath you've taken all day once more. In, and hold for 5 counts. 3, 2, 1, and exhale, release, letting your lungs breathe at whatever rate they need to for a couple of breaths. And then on your next inhale, we're going to flex all of our muscles in the body at once. And inhale, flex all the muscles. And exhale, releasing your whole body's tension into the earth, feeling the gravity pulling you towards the earth, letting your mind wander as you sink into a svasana. back into your body, slightly deepening your breath, maybe wiggling your toes and your fingers. And then taking a moment to notice the inside of your chest cavity. If there's one side of the chest that feels more congested than the other, roll onto that opposite side so that the more congested side is on top of the less congested side. If you don't notice any difference, then roll onto whatever side is calling you. And once you are on your side, take a moment to breathe deeply and ground into the earth, being grateful for the earth holding us and for you and your body connecting and deepening the connection here today. Gratitude for yourself for showing up in whatever ways you did today. Slowly making your way up to a seated position. And bringing your hands together in prayer pose in front of your heart. Inhaling and exhale, lifting up to the forehead. Exhale, may your thoughts be clear. Inhale, exhale in front of the mouth. May your words be honest to the best of your ability. Inhale, exhale in front of the heart. May you spread love freely wherever you may go, including towards yourself.